don't know if you've ever watched any of the videos that were recorded by various stationary cameras on rooftops and people on rooftops when the tsunamis hit Indonesia. If you haven't watched some of those, go to YouTube sometime and just type in tsunami, because the amount of impact that the tsunami waves bring, first as the water sucks out, and everybody kind of stands in awe going, where did the ocean go? Because that seems like such a overwhelming presentation immediately to go, wait, where did the ocean go? But then to see it come back with the force that it does, that's a whole nother ball game. If you've never witnessed that, even on video, I challenge you to go do that. And then ask yourself, what would that look like in society? Welcome to Leading Leaders Podcast. 5-minute videos, 5 days a week. I'm Loren Norris with Leading Leaders Podcast. To differentiate that tsunami, the force of the water, the destruction, I literally watched ocean-going vessels, hundreds of yards long, bigger than a football field. Enough for a small city to live on them. Naval vessels. 1,500, sometimes 3,000 people live on a ship that size. And the ocean washes it ashore, not just onto the shore, not just onto the beach and the dock, 3, 4, 5 miles inland, past the skyscrapers, past the downtown area, past the bridges. Maybe you've seen the movie with Dwayne Johnson. What was it called? San Andreas. It was about the coming tsunami and earthquake in California. It was all very digitally enhanced, creative license, if you will, for what it might be if a tsunami hit in San Francisco. But you can watch it real life from the videos that were captured in Indonesia. You can watch the devastation of life. You can see the people's lives swept away, cars by the hundreds, houses, homes, lives just caught up in the wake of this devastating tsunami that comes out of the ocean and overwhelms the coastline cities. But you can also see weeks, months, years later, the debris in the streets, the homes devastated, gone, jobs gone, businesses gone, livelihoods, educations, families gone. Overwhelmed by something they had no control over. I think it's not an exaggeration to say that 2020 has been very much like a tsunami in the lives of a lot of people. Between the pandemic and the riots and the protests, there have been some great revelations, some things uncovered. Like when the ocean draws back before the tsunami waves hit. And there are things uncovered and revealed. And you got to really stop and take a look at them and go, wow, how have we not seen that? Well, it's been undercover until now. But now that it's revealed, it's got to be dealt with. But then that first wave hits and it pushes a little further than the coastline normally expects. And you think, okay, was that more pushback than we anticipated? And then the second wave hits, and then maybe a third or a fourth. And sometimes those waves in a tsunami are taller than a 50-story building. And it's overwhelming, the force that they bring. By the way, water, not salt water, regular water from the tap weighs 8.33 pounds per gallon. Just imagine the weight of a swimming pool being crashed on your head 10,000 times. That's a tsunami wave. It has the force to change everything, to strip the land bare, to wash out to sea whole cities. Well, that's what we're seeing in society today. And along with it comes the emotional destruction and the family damage and the long-lasting effect of this washing and cleansing, but also the impact and the turmoil and the debris. As leaders, we need to be asking a couple of questions. See, I contrast the videos that I've watched of the tsunami. There was one particular one that's been years ago. It may not even have been the Indonesian tsunami. It may have been one before that. But a mother holding on to a tree on the beach as the first waves came in. And she held the tree with one hand and her child with the other hand. And her other child was holding on to her leg. And when the first wave hit, she lost grip on one of them. Can you imagine the horrifying decision that has to be made? Do I let go of the tree and take the chance that even the one I'm holding on to doesn't survive? Or do I choose between the two of them? Or do I hold on to both of them and hope that the three of us together survive? What a horrible decision to have to make. But I contrast that with the videos of news reporters on the beaches in Galveston and in Florida when the hurricanes hit. And you see them holding on to street signs and the wind is blowing and their feet are dangling in the air like a flag. And they're facing the storm. They're staring down the storm, but they can also eventually just let go of the pole and move to safe harbor. For the most part, that type of storm is not going to be overwhelming and devastating. Now, Katrina and Ike and some of the storms that have hit the U.S. coast in the last 10, 15 years, they've been pretty devastating. They've done the same kind of damage. Not quite to the magnitude of a tsunami, but close. The question remains, though, what do you hold on to? What do you hold on to? Is it the tree close to the beach, that big palm tree? Can you get your arms around that and hold on to it and hope? Now, this tsunami is washing ocean-going vessels ashore. That tree doesn't stand a chance. And if that tree's all you've got to hold on to, I'm not sure you stand a chance. And if the water is washing 3 and 4 and 5 miles into shore, how good is a tree on the beach buried in the sand? How long will it still be there? And what about when the water recedes again and then comes back again? Will it still be there? What about that street sign? Is that going to hold on? Well, what are you holding on to in this social, economic, financial, health tsunami that has ravaged the world? Millions of people without jobs. Hundreds of thousands lost their lives. Society, as we've known it, not the same anymore. What will you hold on to as a leader? And what will you be as a leader to hold on to? These are challenging questions. And if you as a leader are not going to answer them, who will? I have things in my life that I hold on to. I have things that I believe and things that I know and research that I've done that I will hold fast to until the storm is over. And when the storm is over and the debris has to be cleaned up, when the ruins are left behind and there are lives looking around lost for some sense of hope, I'm firmly convinced that what I hold on to will be the reason for hope, not only for me beyond the storm, but for those who are still looking when it's over as well. I hope as a leader you have something to hold on to that is that solid, that firm. Not just a street sign, not just a palm tree on the beach, but something on higher ground that's not going to be washed away with the winds of change or taken out to sea when the waters from the tsunami recede. We're in the storm now. What will be left when the storm is over? That's the question you got to be asking. I'm Loren Norris with Leading Leaders Podcast for Tell It Like It Is TV. Have a blessed day. Subscribe now for our extensive video library of leadership lessons promoting faith, family, and freedom.